Good morning, everybody. It's bright early here out in the country. You might hear a couple of really loud banging trucks go by, but those are just the grape harvesting trucks. But my video is not about grape harvesting trucks this morning. uh, it has to do with, death. Well, you didn't know, but a lot of people wonder, what happens to us after we die? And no one knows for sure, and everybody has their own theories. Some think we just poof away. Oh, my kitty's sitting in my lap. Oh, meow. Some think we go to heaven or hell, and some people like me believe that the energy that makes us up, whether you want to call that your spirit, that it rejoins the universe. And that is something that we can say. There are a few different sayings that kind of support a few different ideas. But in physics, which I have my degree in, states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. And as we know, our cells are full of energy. Even between atoms in a chemical, there is energy. Energy, everything is made of energy. It's just energy in different states. So energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can change form and location. So the energy that makes us up, it has its own vibration. And everybody has their own vibration. I mean, if you've ever been around somebody who's really gloomy, and you've walked into a room with them and you haven't even really seen them yet, and you feel that energy, that's their personal energy due to their emotions, the emotional state. So that energy that consists of you, or that you consist of, when you die, that energy and its vibration go out. And think about that. It rejoins the universe's energy. So in that sense, at the very least, we can say that we do continue on. The energy and the life experiences and how it made us feel, that energy continues on. Now, whether or not our very personal experiences are retained in our energy pattern, after we die, and when our energy leaves our body, I don't know. But I do believe that the energy, our memories, and what we learn from it, maybe not exactly the memory itself, but the lessons learned, the process of the learning, I think somehow that's stored in the energy of the universe. I don't know. There are other people, other religions that also believe something like that. I think there's some place, I'm going to probably say it wrong, the Ashkaic fields. Some people who are very spiritual believe that all knowledge is stored there, and if you have the ability to access this library of knowledge, so you can pretty much learn anything. But I'm not sure if it's anything, but you can learn a lot. Let's put it that way. I like that better. So, it's possible. Whether there's a heaven and hell, I don't know. Although, I have to say, it was about 5 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I think I had something that was kind of like experience what heaven, if you want to call it that, would feel like. Because I wasn't dying, but I was extremely depressed. I had my cancer had come back, and I was alone, and I had my 2 kids, and it just felt like everything was falling apart. And at some point, I was searching for some kind of spiritual connection that could help me find strength through all of this. And so I did a meditation where I put roots into the earth like a tree, because that helps you keep centered and grounded, and we're all connected to the earth, but it helps you get connected. That's the big thing. You have to be connected. We all want to be connected, but being in this physical form, we feel alone. A lot of us feel that we desperately want to be connected, but in reality, we are all connected, even though it doesn't feel that way. So I connected to the earth. I put roots in deep and wide. And then I shot a light of energy out from my body into the universe. And I was searching, it's a fly, searching for my image of where the positive energy, where all the energy goes. And for me, that image is a giant tree with leaves and roots, and it makes a big trunk. And it was made of light. That's the key. This energy is a white light. It's a pure light. Okay? And many religions have the same feeling about this energy. This white light is healing. It's amazing. Well, anyway, my mind makes it to this tree through the universe, out like a straight line or even zigzagging. I find this tree. And just thinking about it, it was amazing. Because when I touched that tree, I didn't see dead people. But I felt so much joy. So much wonderful. I mean, it was just like, you can think about like you're having your first child, finding your true love, and being cured of cancer all at the same time. I mean, there's no way to really give you an idea what that's like. But knowing that was there, knowing there was someplace I can go and just instantly find peace. I wish everybody could experience it, and I think everybody can if they want to. But it was life-changing for me. From that point on, I did not feel alone anymore. I did not feel disconnected. My loneliness of being single for as long as I've been single, it dissipated. And the peace. And this is when I had stage 4 cancer. You know, the peace I found, or was starting to find within myself, it was amazing. And I hardly ever cry. So for me to start crying about something like that says something in itself and its effect on me. So this tree of life, I call it, and probably other people call it that as well. It took me into itself. I joined it, but not completely, because I'm not dead. So I went in, and basically I basically just felt like I told this energy that I need help. I just feel lost, and I don't know why I'm still alive, and I feel like I'm a waste of space. And then I can't remember the details, but it told me that for some reason that I just need to find my joy. And that's why in all my videos I tell you to find your joy, because you can have a fraction of that joy that I felt here on earth. Earth can be more heavenly, but it's our perceptions of what's happening around us that destroy that peace. For better way to explain, I'm not sure. But finding that peace, cat's scratching himself. Finding that peace helped enable me to continue my fight with cancer, to not be depressed all the time, even because I'm alone, and a lot of people would find that unbearable to be alone, especially with a terminal disease. So this energy said, well, you can't stay here, but you can come back and visit. And so that's what I do when I'm feeling really just run down, or I'm starting to feel a little bit of that old depression trying to creep back in because I, like a lot of people, going through hard times, we do suffer from depression. Mine isn't a permanent form, like some people who have a biochemical imbalance for whatever reason, then they need medication for that. But, we can get into a funk where our hormones do get out of balance and it causes, temporary imbalances. But with the right mindset and activity level, we can reverse that. But, so then it let me go and I came back and I started crying, which I'm just trying not to do right now again. So I just, the instantaneous release of all of my sadness, all of my despair, it was at that moment it was all gone. Not to say that didn't start creeping back in after time, but that's when I would go back to the tree of life and get my little reinfusion of white energy and just kind of just have it wash over me. Try not to cry again. But, anybody can feel that. I think you have to be in a mental state where you really, really want. I'm a scientist, for goodness sakes. And I never really believed, in a place like a heavenly place. And I guess in a way, that tree of life, being in the tree of life is like heaven. Like I said, I didn't really see anybody. I felt a presence, though, because it told me I couldn't stay. So there has to be somebody there, right? But it was, to me, it was like a miracle. I mean, it changed my life for the better. And I try to share that peace and try to help people remember that we aren't connected. This energy, we connect everything. Even rocks have energy. The dirt has energy. Trees, living things have a dynamic energy that's constantly changing. Well, the energy in rocks is a lot slow. It's more steady. It's more fixed. Energy's not really fixed, but it's consistent, I guess you could say. But the energy in humans is constantly changing because we're moving and our cells are moving, and it's just but it does create its own field, and they have been able, I believe they have scientifically been able to measure that. But if you ever get in a place where you don't feel like you're important, life is miserable, blah blah blah, negative thoughts, if you can find a way to ground yourself on earth, put out roots, and set out and search for, in your mind, in your heart, for this tree of life or whatever image you want it to be, that's just made of pure white light, and you simply ask to go in or ask for help, I hope that it will let you in so you can experience the sheer wonder. It was just, I can't even put it all into words. But that changed my life, and it helped enable me to get through all this cancer stuff, and then eventually also to accept death. I made a video about the fear of death. I really don't have that fear of death anymore, and I didn't really realize that until recently, because I almost got trampled by a horse, and at the moment I thought I was going to get squashed, literally, I wasn't scared. I wasn't screaming. I was just like, oh, here it comes. Here's the end. Oh, well. But when I didn't get squashed, I'm like, oh, well, that was interesting. So I think that's why a lot of people believe in a God and a heaven. Maybe in that sense, because it does bring peace to, in a sense, for some people. But knowing that, now I'm not going to say before I go on that I'm not afraid of the actual act of like dying. Who wants to actually go through and be conscious of the fact that they're dying? Like in the process, actively dying. I'm not actively dying at this moment. I'm not like my organs aren't shutting down. I'm not, becoming unconscious or whatever. I'm still quite alive. So I'm not actively dying at this moment. But, like at the end, the last couple hours of my life or whatever, however long it takes me to actively die, I don't want to feel that. I don't think anybody wants to go through that, because that part is kind of scary. when I die, I hope I like die in my sleep, or it's like a stroke and I lose consciousness or something. I don't want a long horrible death. But I keep telling the universe, the energy that is the universe, when it's my time, give me a little bit of warning when it's like really close. That way I can kind of like say goodbye to everybody and then just take me. I don't want to sit there and linger in a hospital bed, with tubes coming out every orifice and not being conscious, and I don't want to go that way. I want to know that my time is almost there, and then I want to be able to say goodbye and my love yous and last messages, and then blink, just be gone, and rejoin the universe. People explore the universe. I mean, once your energy is free, it's not stuck here anymore. You can go and explore. Maybe not as you, but the energy goes and explores and becomes new things. Yep, that's and part of me is excited to kind of what we call to go back home. Go back to heaven, to rejoin the collective, in Star Trek terms. Yeah, but the act of dying and leaving behind my kids, that part kind of bugs me, of course. But that is a part of life. We have to accept the fact that when we die, we leave things behind, and sometimes it may feel like unfinished business, but that's just life and death. We can't do it. All we can do to alleviate that stress of dying is to try to either write letters to our future kids, saying, hey, if this happens, this is mom talking, this is what I would suggest, and I'm going to be doing that soon with my videos. Make some videos for my son and my daughter, and for anybody's son and daughter really, but I'm making them for my kids, because when the time comes and I'm gone and they want to talk to me, they can pull up the appropriate video and hear what I would have said to them if I was still here. So in a sense, that gives me a little peace too, knowing that I'd be able to talk to them even though I'm no longer here. So that's another way you can deal with the thought of dying, is just prepare for it, rather than stress and stress and stress and stress. Well, what would you do if you could? I mean, if you're, what part of not being here bugs you? Well, I would be bothered if my kids needed me for emotional support and I wasn't here for them. So my way of dealing that is to make videos for them. And I have a little bit of money, but not a lot. So part of me is being careful with my money so that I can leave some to my kids. Something just to help them through a rough time. It's not a lot. I mean, I haven't worked long enough. I'm not a billionaire or something. So, but excuse me. Anyway, so death, that act of being dead shouldn't be scary, because what we are, just it's still there. It's just not in. I don't know if we're ever able, as the death energy, once we're gone, I don't know if we're able to take this shape, on the other side, as people would call it, on the energy side of life. I don't know if we're able to take human form and be like a ghost or a spirit and visit people. I don't know if we can. But I don't know if our energy, if it stays together, or if it kind of spreads out to the universe. I don't know that. But there's a lot of evidence through people who deal with spirits and ghosts and such to suggest that the energy does kind of stay together, at least for a while, before maybe it is reborn or released to do other work, become other things, become part of a new planet, who knows. But I just lost my train of thought. You gotta love that chemo brain. Woohoo! It should be getting better now, and I think the chemo brain's getting better, but it takes time for all that stuff to get out of you. But anyway, what was I saying? You gotta laugh at yourself, because I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, then no one, you don't want anybody else laughing at you. So if you can laugh at you, other people can laugh with you, then everybody's happy. Laughing is great for your health. Anyway, so if I can remember what I was thinking, I'll talk about it. But otherwise, just my message for the day is, we are not alone. we just feel alone. We feel separate, but we're not separate. We're just in this form. We have skin. We have a boundary, so we think that we are not connected to anything, but we are. And when one of us is suffering, the suffering isn't confined to that one person. I mean, that one person, if that person wasn't suffering, could be contributing in a positive way to society, to their families, to themselves. But when a person's suffering and they're part of a community, that affects the whole community. It's what you could call the butterfly effect. It may not be very obvious at a distance, but a person who is depressed because they feel unconnected, unimportant, that ripples through the family, and the family feels it, and it ripples through their family friends, and those friends, feel it, and the effect is not quite as strong. But imagine that's just one person who is feeling depressed because they feel separate from everybody else. Imagine, one person in every house on a block. That's a lot of negative energy going out. This is why, as a society, we need to really be concerned about each other, about taking care of our neighbors, to show that, hey, you matter, you are important, we are all connected. We are all connected, whether we want to believe it. You could be living next to somebody who is extremely racist, from whatever race, because there's races in every race. But you are connected to that person. Their negativity does affect your life. And if there's any way you can help shift that energy, do it. Because you will feel better, they will feel better, the neighborhood will feel better. If everybody did a little bit to help remind people, to make people feel connected, because not everybody's going to see this video. But we are all connected through this energy, through the energy of life, through the energy of matter. Matter is made of energy. Energy makes up matter. It's just in different form. So we are all connected. So when we disrespect each other and call each other's names, like so many of our politicians do, which I find very just disappointing. They are people who are supposed to be leaders in our world. And I'm not just talking about Trump. I'm not just talking about, Biden or Harris, or I'm talking about so many of our televised leaders on both sides. Calling each other's names, blaming. That's all negative energy. What I want to hear from these people to help get us all connected, to make us feel connected, to change the energy of our world, is this: how are we going to fix the problems? First, you have to see what the problem is. And then you have to propose ways to fix the problem. Not just saying, oh, Trump did this, or Pelosi did that. How the heck is that helping anybody? Except for maybe yourself. And just pandering to the people who already support you. How is that helping anybody? If you're going to be on TV and you want to get more people to vote for you, don't you think you want to be talking to the people who aren't already supporting you? Because when you say negative things about the other side, well, only people on this side are going to care. The other people on this side are going, well, that guy's a jerk. Why would I want to vote for him? So, to all the politicians, male or female, if you really want to get votes, you need to talk like you care about the other side. And you would need to care about the other side because we're all damn connected. So stop being children and calling each other's names and blaming everybody. It's like the little fiver going, Mama, he poked me. He's a jerk. I mean, come on. I mean, we're adults here. Some of these people are like almost twice my age, and they're still like 5-year-olds. I don't get it. But, I'm not saying that 5-year-olds are bad, but they're just immature. They shouldn't be leaders of our nations. So everybody can change, and but it's a conscious effort. I wasn't always this mellow in my life. I still get rather passionate about certain things, but that's another video. But we're connected. So when you're bashing the other half of society, Hello? If we're connected, you're bashing yourself in a roundabout way. Why would you do that? It makes no sense at all. But that's what we've been taught. We've never been taught as a world how connected we really are. So, yeah, this video is getting really long, so I should probably just let you go. But the tree of life, or whatever that white light energy form is for you, if you can find it, I, I really hope that you can get the same peace that I got from it, and to know that we are all connected and have that peace. It can change your life in ways that I cannot articulate. But anyway, as always, go out, find your joy, and share that joy with those around you, because if you make yourself happy and you make others happy, everybody will be a lot happier. Bye-bye.